Hello and welcome everyone. This is class number 1 in the series of full moon mini master classes and forecast for 2017. I will be your host today. My name is Sarah Parker Thomas, and I'm so glad you could be here with me. If you're new to Serenity Reiki Clinic or new to the full moon series of classes, what we do is every month we get together for an overview of the full moon and what's happening in the cosmos. I share a little bit about astrology, but it's not really so much an astrology class. Astrology does figure into it, but it's also intuitive reading as well. A general forecast of what's going on for the next 28 days or cycles that may be coming up so we can start preparing. Also, there will be a guided meditation activation to help you make the most of this full moon energy. And I'm so glad you could be here. Feel free to submit your questions, usually in advance of the full moon before we start. If you'll go to serenityreikiclinic.com and look at the event page, you can see the date of the next classes. And this will give you some time to submit your questions, okay? Today is January the 11th, 2017, and we're already feeling the full moon energy of the January full moon in Cancer. And we have so much going on this month. We have all the planets going direct. Wow. We have Friday the 13th, which is a most magical manifestation day. And we have some other events going on, which I'll get into as we get into the class. But let's start with the full moon, okay? Today we're going to explore the first full moon of this year. It's building up to be pretty dramatic, isn't it? So have you been feeling the effects of it already? Have you been feeling the pull from emotional Cancer? Well, I can assure you, you're not alone. I've been getting lots of questions and lots of curious comments from clients for the past week about what is going on with the cosmos and why am I feeling so emotional? So just sit back and make yourself a cup of hot tea and let's just dive right in, okay? So while the moon is in Cancer, the sun is in loyal, dependable, earthy Capricorn. So when you have these two direct opposites, you can expect extremes, high drama, and lots of volatile situations. So you may be feeling kind of pulled apart. You may find yourself going back and forth between extremes. One moment, you're completely logical and on the ball and totally on the spot, and the next moment wanting to just sit in your car and cry. The moon will be full on January the 12th at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this full moon, this one in January, the very first one of 2017, is known as the wolf moon, the hunger moon, and the cold moon. We can figure that one out pretty good, can't we, as to why it's called that, right? Because it's, for most people on this side of the world, it's cold. And this was a time when food was rather scarce and you had to plan ahead, right? And if you study astrology, you know the first full moon cycle of the year brings with it a lot of powerful lessons, but also a great opportunity for change and kind of a reset time. Most people know it as a very advantageous opportunity to rest and reset. This moon brings with it a time for almost hibernation. So have you been feeling like that? Have you been feeling like you really want a cocoon? Well, you're not alone. This is your chance to pretty much go inward and reflect upon the new year on what you really want to manifest. It's not too late. I know I'm already hearing people telling me that they're losing their resolutions already. It's not too late. It's not too late if you haven't set any either. And I invite you maybe not to set resolutions this year, but maybe pick a one-word theme for the year. And I'm going to be talking more about that in another video class. But okay, back to the moon. If you haven't already set your goals and your intention for the year, like I say, this is your chance. With the moon in Cancer, emotions are running very high though, and you don't want to become a slave to unexpressed emotions during this time. There are a lot of lessons coming up with this energy, from judgment to past emotional connections, to cutting ties with toxic people or toxic relationships, to manifesting the life you can only dream about. And actually, you have the ability in 2017 to live the life that you don't even dare dream. It has the possibility of being that awesome. But of course, you have to move through the lessons first, right? The energy of this full moon can make you suddenly feel overly emotional and dramatic. So there's also a tendency to project our problems on others or fall into judgment when we have this kind of energy. So it's very important to understand that when you're projecting, you are allowing the thoughts of yourself to flow up and out of you to be seen and heard. And then you can learn to see what needs to be changed. It's not very fun to be in that mindset, though, of judgment. This is a good thing when you can embrace it and stop yourself before you actually speak those words, and when you catch yourself in judgment. Because like I say, it's not a very fun place to be, but it does hold a valuable lesson about what you need to clear. And when you find yourself looking at someone or a situation and judging it, you have to remember this is a lesson for you and it has nothing to do with the other person, okay? Another lesson many people are going to be experiencing during this divine time is the lesson of boundaries. We are all encouraged to set healthy boundaries and start that self-care regimen that we all know we need, yet somehow never find time to start. And this may cause you to realign some of your goals. And that's okay. If they're no longer in line with your highest good, then now is the time to release them for more positive ideals and more positive good to come into your life. We're moving into an extremely positive and uplifting phase for the next 30 days when all the planets go direct. I wrote a really short piece on the Serenity Reiki Clinic blog, I think January the 7th, 2017, about just that, about the planets going all direct, if you want to check that out. And I'll be talking more about it in the full class too. This next 28-day cycle is full of magic possibilities and a lot of cosmic happenings going on too. We have a lot to discuss. But before we go any further, I need to say this is suggested as a guide to what may be influencing you and is not intended as medical or financial advice. What we feel and the pull that we feel may be very strong, but ultimately the decisions and the associated karma is all up to you and the decisions that you make. These classes are intended as a guide to help you make the most of the cycles and patterns we're going through, and also to make the most of the energy. One of the questions I've been asked is this a good year to marry? Well, yes and no. The rooster year, 2017 is the rooster year, is a pretty good year for a marriage, yes. But it's not as simple as that. You are being advised it's a very good year to marry if you've been in a longer term relationship, at least 3.5 years. Yes, if you suddenly decide to marry, this will probably be a very good time to do it. If it's somebody you haven't known all that long, then this is probably not the year. Wait a little bit longer. And I'll be answering more questions and talking about the planets moving forward and eclipse and all kind of stuff on the full class. I hope you can join me there. I'll put the link in the comment section, and even if the class is already passed, you can download the video or watch the video and catch up, okay? See you there. Thanks. Bye-bye. Reiki blessings.